everyone, and welcome to the Knights of the Dawn podcast, where we talk about all things Brandon Mull. I'm Jessica.
And I'm Megan.
And we're happy to have you all here. Okay, so today we are going to have a little bit of a special episode. We're not talking about any chapters from the first Fablehaven book that we're working through right now.
Nope.
Instead, we have a question for all of you.
Do you guys know what Chat GPT is? Well, I bet you do, because it is very hot topic right now.
Yeah.
And the topic of AI. So, I don't know if any of you have tried out Chat GPT, but it's an open AI where you can go on and you can ask it pretty much any question, and it'll give you some sort of answer. There's no guarantee it's reliable at all.
It'll certainly be entertaining, though.
Yes. And so that's what we did today. We went on Chat GPT and asked it some questions about Brandon Mull's books. And we got some fun answers. So we'll be kind of going through that today. And just as a little warning, there are possible spoilers ahead for all of Brandon Mull's books because it kind of covers everything.
Yeah, possible is more like guaranteed, honestly.
Yeah.
Like any of his series, which we hope to eventually cover on this podcast.
Which we will eventually cover.
We will. Very true. Very true. Optimism. But yeah, so we just want to put that out there.
Yes.
Spoilers ahead.
So I asked ChatGPT, do you know of any fan theories related to Brandon Mull's books? And I asked it a couple times because it just kept giving me answers. And the more times I asked the same question, the wilder its answers became.
AKA the more hilarious they became.
Yeah. So at first it seemed like it knew what it was talking about, but then it just kind of got weirder. So here are some of the first examples. So we have a Fablehaven theory, or so-called Fablehaven theory. One popular fan theory, this is ChatGPT talking. One popular fan theory about Fablehaven series is that Seth and Kendra, the two main characters, are actually descended from one of the magical creatures in the preserve, possibly a unicorn. This theory is based on hints dropped throughout the series, such as the fact that Seth has a special connection to the fairy queen, and Kendra has natural talent for magical spells. What do you think of that one?
I honestly, I cannot speak. I'm just over here, laughing soundlessly over here.
This was the first time I asked it this, and this is the first thing it came up with.
So it's a good thing to start with.
So, I mean, I don't know of any real, many fan theories, but this was, I just think it's funny. It's, based on hints.
Of which there are none.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, last chance, spoilers here. That is so wrong.
I like how it's possibly a unicorn they're descended from. I mean, Kendra.
I mean, in theory,
likes
that
unicorns.
In theory, yeah, it's possible. We've shown that magical creatures can have relationships. There's Patton and Lena.
Patton and Lena never had a kid, though. What if they had a kid? Why did that happen? Wait, what? I've never thought of that before.
Why didn't? Oh, well, that would be so sad for Lena because they would. But they should still have grandkids.
Man, why didn't that happen, Brandon? You have something
Honestly,
to answer for.
Patton probably just they just probably never had time. He was too busy traveling the world, going to different preserves.
That's true. That's true.
Saving half the universe.
I wonder, would it
200 years in advance?
I guess would it be possible or no? That's a good question. I think it should be possible, right? Even though, because she was mortal, but she was
she was a fallen.
She had hints of immortality, so I just wonder if the kid would be more mortal or have.
How do you think
those aspects of immortality
are born? How are Blixes born?
Man, we're making our own theories here
right
now.
Oh, thank you, ChatGPT.
This is not where I expected this to go. Okay,
but how was Vanessa born? Who were her parents?
I don't know.
Is it just a mutation, or is it genetic?
I've never thought of that before. Okay, well,
because they're mortal. They're not magical creatures, but they are magical.
And then you have, what's her face? Trina? What's her name? Is it Trina?
Viviblix, the one who's
Yeah. Is that her name?
I
don't know. The Viviblix
that explodes violently
in the fourth
when
and
she
the fifth
tries
book.
to suck Bracken.
Yes.
No, but yeah. So yeah. Now I wonder how is a Blix born?
Okay. Well, we might make our own theories.
What if that's what happens when a mortal and a magical creature have what if if Patton and Lena did have a kid, it would have been a Blix. Or
what kind of Blix though? Because then you have a What's like the
There's the
dead
Narcoblix.
one, the Narcoblix, the Vivablix, the Lectoblix,
Is that the
which is
Necromancer?
the dead one. Yeah, like
Those are the three that we know of.
were there any more?
Controls in the sleep, sucks out youth, controls the dead. I think those are the
think
only
that's
ones
it.
that we've
Yeah.
had.
I think that's it.
We need Blix lore. That's so intriguing.
All right.
Like
Well,
if Kendra and Bracken have a kid,
yeah.
would it be a Vivablix? Because like it
Well,
has Bracken's.
Except like Bracken, like I don't know if that's like the way to say it, but like renounced his immortality, and he
Like,
said he would age normally now.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, I kind of preferred what Kendra was thinking at the end of like the 5th book when she was like, maybe one day she'll become an Eternal.
Oh, I thought she
that
was
would
gonna.
have been perfect.
I so thought that was gonna happen.
That would have been perfect.
I really thought that was gonna happen. I thought she was gonna become immortal somehow.
And I think that would work better.
That can be your headcanon.
Then they could become the king and queen of the fairy realm.
I know, right?
Is Bracken the youngest kid of the fairy queen?
He's
'Cause
the
we
only
meet one of his-
son.
He's the only son, but we
Yeah.
meet one of his sisters, and clearly there can be a
I
queen.
mean, age is kind of hard with immortal people.
Yeah.
Figures. Man, so these are some theories that I
These are
kind of want to
theories.
delve deeper in, but
I
that's
don't
not what I expected for this to happen.
Yeah.
Do you want to read the Beyonders theory?
You'll have to take this one because
Oh,
I
yeah.
am less experienced in the world of
Okay,
Beyonders.
it's fine.
Okay,
I'll change that.
in the Beyonders, I've read them. In the Beyonders series, there is a character named Rachel who is able to communicate with a magical sword. Remind me, is that true?
No. There's not a magical
right
sword.
off the bat. Some fans have theorized that Rachel is actually the sword's previous owner, reincarnated. This theory is based on clues in the text, such as the fact that Rachel and the sword seem to have a deep connection, and that Rachel has a birthmark that looks like the sword.
Yeah, when I read this second theory, this is when I was like, man, this really just
It's
it
talking out
gets
of its rear end.
names right
Yeah.
and some small details, but then it makes up these like things, and I'm just like, what sword? There's not a sword in Beyonders. She's from Earth and comes to the Beyond, to Lyrian, and then like I started reading this and I just started laughing. I was like, this is kind of like ridiculously funny.
Like
Because
it's so stupid, it's hilarious.
But it's like it sounds so confident in its answer. It's like confidently wrong.
yeah,
So,
it's kind of
yeah.
funny. Like these theories are very much like you can see that there is a template. There is a
Yeah.
definite template. One
Based
fan
on
theory
hints.
about blank series is that blank person blank is actually blank blank.
Yeah.
This theory is based on hints in the text, such as blank and blank.
And
Like there's
then-
always like like hints in the text, and then there's 2 hints.
And like most of the hints, a lot of them don't exist. And hints in that, like, it's so funny how it just kind of makes it up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Very entertaining.
was a fun one.
Moving on to the next one.
Okay, next one is Dragonwatch. This one is interesting. So Dragonwatch. One fan theory about Dragonwatch series is that Seth's friend Gavin is actually a dragon in disguise. This theory is based on hints in the text, such as the fact that Gavin is always absent when there are dragon attacks, and that he seems to know a lot about dragon behavior. And bear in mind, this says this is a theory for Dragonwatch.
I didn't catch. It's so close.
I read
That's-
that and
I
I was
think-
like, that was the closest you've ever been.
Like, yeah, honestly, but like, so, background. Gavin is introduced in the 3rd book of the Fablehaven series.
Yes.
He is introduced as the son of a very famous dragon
Tamer.
tamer.
Yeah.
And whose father has died, and so he's like 18, and he's introduced into the Knights of the
Like
Dawn.
16. I think he's like
Is he?
16. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I guess you're right.
It would be weird if Gavin were 18 and Kendra were like 14.
Fair enough. No, but yeah, so they he and Kendra both get inducted into the Dragonwatch at the same time, and Kendra gets a little starry-eyed.
Yes, for the next couple books.
Yeah,
I don't know if we need to like review this. I feel like people
yeah.
would know.
If you know this, yeah. And so
I mean, spoiler alert,
he actually
he's
is
a
dragon.
bad guy.
Yeah, and he actually is a dragon.
Yes, he is a demon prince, I think that's what, because
He
he's such a bad dragon
He
that
gets the honorary title.
Yeah,
yes.
he gets the honorary title of a demon prince because he is
that bad.
a bad guy. So like it's just funny, and also it says that it's like Seth's friend.
Because
Like,
definitely he was
ooh.
more friendly with Kendra.
So,
And he
yeah.
was never even mentioned in Dragonwatch.
We only meet Seth in the 4th book when he sneaks into Wormroost.
Oh, that's good. That's true. It's so funny, because it's not true. Like the first hint is the most untrue one. Like he's always absent when dragons are around.
Yeah.
That's not true. Like it's
Yeah.
just the dragons always come up and they just know. They're like,
Yeah. Exactly.
dude, what are you doing? We'll
So,
help you
yeah.
out. We'll be nefarious with you.
So it was so close, but then I was like,
So close.
so
yet so
far. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. That was
So
a
then-
fun. That was a fun one.
So Five Kingdoms next. Your favorite?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Five Kingdoms is very near and dear to my heart. I love the series.
So do I.
In the Five Kingdoms series, there's a group of powerful beings known as the Keepers, who are tasked with maintaining balance between the different kingdoms. Some fans have theorized that the Keepers are actually alternate versions of the main characters, Cole and Jace. This theory is based on clues in the text, such as the fact that the Keepers have the same eye colors as Cole and Jace, and that their powers seem to be related to the powers that the boys gain throughout the series.
I mean, Jace has a good power of like sarcasm, but
That is the ultimate power.
yeah.
Also, the Keepers are the Crystal
Keepers.
Keepers from book 3.
Yeah. The only other like quote unquote keepers I could think about is like the Grand Shapers, but they're not keepers.
Yeah.
And then like Cole does not have their powers. He kind of has
OG powers.
the OP powers.
True. I love Cole so much.
He's a good character. But yeah, I was just like,
His
this is
entire
getting
moral dilemma.
this is different
What?
lore that does not exist.
No, yeah. Also, I don't know. Do we even know the eye colors of Cole and Jace?
I don't know.
And Jace doesn't even have. Yeah, like his only power is sarcasm.
Jace does not have powers, and his magic.
Keeper-
Okay, his magic rope makes him like a superhero, but like
Yeah, he is really good with that rope.
he's very good with that rope.
And he's a cocky little boy. He's just so he's very confident. He's like, and also
I mean, being a slave of the Sky Raiders, he has to be, you know.
he's very
Plucky.
much live fast, live fast kind of like thing.
Die bravely.
Live fast, die bravely.
Yep.
Ooh, is that actually a thing from the book? The live fast part?
No.
I don't know. I just feel like it has that, like that kind of like he's like I'm like his thing was like I started working at the Sky Raiders where I could die any day, and I said I'm already dead. Let's just go. And he's like,
Yep.
nobody
his
can hurt me
philosophy.
at this point.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go. And yeah, he still ends up, and I think he's gonna end up possibly as like a Grand Shaper's husband. Him and Mira, so cute.
I mean,
Now I want to go read those. They're just so good.
I just reread them. They're good. Okay, so the next theory was probably the best one out
It's
of
definitely
all of
the
these.
deepest.
Yeah, I read that and I was like, well, this is like a good answer. So this says Fablehaven. Another theory related to Fablehaven series is that the series is an allegory for the stages of life. According to this theory, each book represents a different stage of life, with the first book, Fablehaven, representing childhood, the second book, Rise of the Evening Star, representing adolescence, and so on. What do you think of that?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. It's been a while since I've read the entire Fablehaven series. Like,
Mhm.
at this point, I've gone through most of the first book,
Yeah.
and there are certain things like I remember basically what happens in all the other ones.
Yeah.
But I'm like trying to think of kind of like the thematic things,
It-
and I can kind of see it.
It is weird because I mean, maybe Brandon had this planned out like that, or maybe it just happens to be like that, but it's kind of interesting because the first book does kind of feel like childhood. Like everything is new, but you're having to learn some like hard lessons.
It's the kids like finding out that the oven
Yeah.
is hot when they touch it and they get burned, and then they
Yeah.
learn, oh, oven is hot.
But then like nothing super bad really happens because they're able to remedy at the end. Like
it's wrapped up in a nice little bow at the end.
yes.
Okay.
And in the second book, you start to get a little older and you start to know more about the world, which is where they learn more about the society and the demon prison and
they're also
the
being,
5 artifacts.
they're also being taught, if you think about it. Like
Yeah.
they have like
Yeah.
they have Warren. No, yeah, well,
Warren at the end. They have Vanessa, Tanu, and Coulter.
Coulter, yeah. I almost said Colton. I was like, wait.
Vanessa,
yeah,
Tanu, and
so-
Coulter, yeah.
And they're all teaching them like very reminiscent of like high school kind of things.
Mhm.
Like they're learning about these specialties and
Yeah.
all of these things, and like they're finding out what they want to do.
Yeah.
Kendra
true.
decides she wants to become fairy kind.
I mean, she was already very kind.
Yeah, so that's interesting.
Then the third book.
Third book is Shadow Plague.
Late teenage years, young adult. I don't know.
Young adult.
It's definitely darker, obviously. You know.
Does Seth mess up majorly in that one? Like, what's Seth's brave, stupid move there?
He goes to visit
he
Grawless.
goes and visits
Yeah.
Grawless. That's what it is.
Yep.
I was trying to remember. Yeah, Kendra is, like, working... I guess you can see it. Kendra is working on, like, increasing her own powers, like, in college reminiscent. Like, she's chosen a path and she's going down it.
Yeah, she
like,
joins the Knights of the Dawn.
Joins the Knights of the Dawn. Seth is more of the undetermined major.
But you're taking this far.
I'm seeing it.
I mean, yeah.
I'm looking for the links.
I was going more on, like, you know, as life goes on, you kind of see more of the darker side of life, or kind of like the other side.
This one's
and
dark.
Grip of the Shadow Plague, like, literally creatures are falling into a darkened state. And then at the end, they find out that the Sphinx was a traitor, you know? And so...
I thought that was the end of the second one.
No, it's the end of the third one. Because in the third
but
one, they're trying to
Vanessa-
figure out...
Vanessa leaves.
No, Vanessa leaves, like, a thing, but that's when they're...
She implicates
She
him
implicates it, but they don't know for sure until the end of the third one.
when the Knights of the Dawn, like,
because they
go
go
after him.
to the Knights of the Dawn meeting, and
They share the
they
suspicions.
think that the Sphinx is the captain, but they can't have any because of all the masks that they have to wear. Yeah, all the secrecy. And then they
Yes.
find out that he was a traitor.
Yeah, and then it's confirmed that he is the turncoat tallywhacker.
Yes. I just said yes, and then I realized what you said, and I was like... And then the fourth book...
We also have our first major loss in the third book. Just as a quick look.
Yeah.
We lose Lena.
That's true. More realities of life.
Mm-hmm.
And the fourth book is, like, crazy. Like, Kendra is
Oh yeah,
kidnapped.
Wormrose. Oh yeah.
And,
Oh,
like,
I
yeah,
forgot
that
that's
whole
how
plan
would
of,
end.
like, Kendra's, like, dead
my-
but
I-
not dead, and then...
Oh, that one was
That's
dark.
crazy.
I forgot about. I
Yeah.
forgot that happened at the beginning of the fourth.
Yeah, it happens at the beginning of the fourth book.
Oh man, I still remember like at that point they were like probably what 15 and 12. Yeah,
I think
she
she's
was-
like 15 and he's like 13.
Yeah, because they're back in school at that point.
Yeah. Around 15 and 13. Because she's like a freshman.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That
Yeah.
one's so. I always felt like I
That
remember
was
reading that one.
crazy.
Like Seth had to watch his sister die
Yeah.
and bury her.
Yeah. And then, yeah, well, that is why he's
Oh my-
like uber depressed.
Oh my, like
For good
I'm,
reason.
oh my gosh! And I need to go back and read
Like,
that reunion
crazy.
scene where like Kendra finally gets back because they find her and they get her back. Like, 'cause
It's short but
my
it's sweet. Yeah.
Gosh, like Seth doesn't crack a joke. He doesn't say anything. He just goes and he hugs her, and Kendra's like,
Mhm.
"Whoa!" He's like, "We buried you,"
Yeah.
and then he switches into the
Right.
like, "Yo, you should use it as your headboard or something."
And then, you know, coping
Your lies
mechanism
can-
comes in.
yeah, definitely his coping mechanism. But like,
Sethism. Yeah.
man, I'm just thinking about that now. And I'm almost
Well,
tearing
and then,
up.
like, the fourth
Goodness.
book goes from that to, like, Worm Roost.
Where we finally
and
find out Gavin's the traitor.
Gavin's the traitor. And then they come back and their parents have been kidnapped, too, by the society. And Seth gets to be a knight.
Yeah, Seth gets knighted.
But yeah, which is also more growing up, so that's interesting. And then the fifth book.
I remember.
I don't know how that equates to death or anything, but...
Yeah.
So, like, it kind of works in the first couple books, but as you go on, I don't know.
Yeah, the first two, I can see it.
Yeah, the first two for sure. Maybe that's why
Mm.
it's only listing the first two. It's like, yeah, these work, and then it doesn't explain 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. Do we lose anybody in the fifth book?
Coulter.
Yeah, that's true. Who did we lose in fourth? Oh, we lost Maddox's brother. It started with a D.
Dugan.
Dugan. That one hurt. I felt bad when we had to tell
Oh, but then we get
Maddox.
Raxtus.
We do get Raxtus.
I love Raxtus. He's the best.
I do love Raxtus. He's so fun.
He gobbles up.
He literally defeats
Gavin.
Gavarog.
Navarog.
I was
You
I was-
combined Gavin and Navarog? Gavarog.
Gavarog. We also
Very
get
evil.
Warren in the second book. Love Warren.
I love Warren.
And less Dale. It's like once Warren comes in, he takes in all of Dale's screen time.
Okay, but I'm sorry. I don't, like, hate Dale, but, like, Warren is just better. He's the better brother. I'm sorry.
Is
Dale
Dale
is-
older?
Yes.
Is Dale, that
Warren
explains everything.
is younger. I picture him very attractive. And
he is the reincarnation of Patton Burgess.
He is his, like, I don't know, some kind of relative,
Great-great-grandson?
because he's Warren Burgess.
Yeah, he is
so.
Warren Burgess. Okay, this is a Fablehaven theory from Chat GPT. In the Fablehaven series, there is a character named Dale Burgess, who we just were talking about, who is a powerful wizard and a member of the Society of the Evening Star. Some fans have theorized that Dale Burgess is actually related to the main characters, Seth and Kendra, possibly as a long-lost uncle or cousin. He's not lost.
Also, he is their cousin.
Yeah, he is their cousin.
Like second cousin or something.
This theory is based on clues in the text, such as the fact that the fact that Burgess seems to have a personal vendetta against the Fablehaven caretakers, and that he has a connection to some of the magical creatures in the preserve. It seems more like Fablehaven has a personal vendetta against Dale.
More like it's like you can't leave.
What is he even doing in the 5th book? Where is he?
He says that he was like
He
in
was
the stables for like a month or something.
Yeah, like
I just can't imagine. He just like was there alone
by himself.
Just like that's such a funny theory because first of all, he is their cousin. Second of all, he's like the most like steady character ever. Like
you can like read excerpts from him from
he's
the
just
1st and
like
the 5th book, and he's the exact same.
Exactly. Yeah, he doesn't really have character growth, but he's a very minor character. So yeah,
we got
and
more
this
from him.
is a funny theory because I remember. So my family has been reading Fablehaven for like forever, and I remember we once had this discussion where we were talking about Dale, and we were like, "Man, Dale just gets like overlooked in all of these things, and just like he like does nothing in the books." And I actually remember I don't remember who it was in my family. They're like, "What if Dale had like magic powers or something?" It was just like secretly
It's
like
your guys' fault.
yeah,
This
I
is
know.
on your-
I read this and I was like, my family literally like talked about this one time. It was like, what if Dale was like the person that like comes and like defeats everything?
Like,
So
what
it's
if
just kind of
he's-
funny.
What if he's the secret weapon?
Yeah.
Of course, I was always over here theorizing, what if he's actually a member of the society? What if he is the captain? What if he is the Sphinx's boss?
That would
He's
be nuts.
That would be the biggest
You would have to have
Ups.
more
of him, period.
you'd have to have more of him in the books for that to be justified.
Mhm.
You should write that story. Just rewrite it and then just have Dale have more of a
little bit more of a presence.
presence, and then yeah, maybe that could work.
Poor
That
Dale.
would be crazy. Okay. Well, we've been focusing a lot on Fablehaven.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to a different series. Okay, this one is kind of fun. So this is from Five Kingdoms, and it says, in the Five Kingdoms series, there's a character named Sky, who is a skilled archer, and a member of a group of rebels fighting against a tyrannical ruler. Some fans
Not
have
bad.
theorized that Sky is actually a member of a secret organization known as the Archers of Silence, which is mentioned in the Fablehaven series. This theory is based on hints in the text, such as the fact that Sky has a special talent for archery and that she seems to have knowledge of magical creatures. Okay, remind us who Sky is for those of us who...
Okay, so Sky was an illusionist from book 2. I don't think she ever moves past book 2. I think that's where she stays.
Yeah.
She was very, very skilled though. Like she could, like she was the OP one that we like, and so at the end of the books, I think they were planning on making her Grand Shaper. Like that was the plan.
Yeah, she goes to study with
Trillion.
the
Torvor.
Torvor.
And because the old, I think Calypso died.
Yeah, Calypso dies at the end of the
Yeah.
second book.
And
Then
so
she becomes a Grand Shaper.
exactly. It's like it's so close.
Eloweir. Eloweir
yep.
is the name of the
Eloweir
place.
is the name of the Second Kingdom, and they have like the illusionist powers. They can make physical alterations to
Called seemings.
seemings, but mostly they just stick with the illusions, and she's really good at that.
Yeah. So this is just funny because like she's a skilled archer, and it's funny.
But
'cause
she is
it's,
a
like,
member of the rebel group.
She is in a rebel group fighting against tyrannical ruler,
Mm-hmm.
but she's not part of the Archers of Silence.
Do they ever even? I don't remember that ever being mentioned at Fablehaven. Is that even a
There's
thing?
no such thing as the Archers of Silence, and Five Kingdoms of Fablehaven have no
It's open. Though.
crossover.
It's open.
Okay. Well,
'Cause-
this gives us an opportunity to talk about what we think is connected.
Okay, so
Do you think Fablehaven is connected at all to any of the other books?
I think it could be.
I don't
Besides
think it
Dragonwatch.
is. I don't think it is. Okay. Why do you think they are? And then I'll say why I don't.
Well, the reason why I think that they could be is because in Five Kingdoms, they have, newsflash, 5 kingdoms. One of them, and later, I think in the 4th book, it's revealed, like, exactly what the 5 kingdoms are. It's kind of like a way station.
Yeah.
Like, it was created out of the space between life and death, where, like, basically everybody dies, and they have what's called an echo that goes to the echo lands.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the echo lands you can gain power to be able to shape your own little paradise before you move on to what's really like after death.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a little way station. Some very powerful echoes made the 5 kingdoms, and like brought mortals to live there. So it's already breaking many rules.
Okay.
And we have characters from other worlds in the echo lands that we meet. We meet Farron
and
Drake from Beyonder
from
series.
Lyrian.
From Lyrian.
Yes. That is part of my reasoning, but I want to hear why do you think Fablehaven is connected to anything else?
So we do know that the kids who come from Earth come from a different Earth. Well, we know they come from Earth. And so this Earth does appear not to have any like traditional magic or magical creatures like it does in Fablehaven, but who's to say that Fablehaven universe doesn't exist in another universe? Like there's the realm of the Toravors, there's Lyrian, there's Cole's Earth.
So
why isn't there another? Why couldn't there be another Earth?
We are thinking along the same lines, but in different directions. Because for me, if it's a multiverse, then it's a different universe and it's not connected at all. So I think that Fablehaven is not Fablehaven and Dragonwatch are not connected because they have magic on Earth, and it is very, very like set that in Lyrian and in 5 Kingdoms, Earth does not have magic. Because if you walk like the Pilgrim Path or whatever, like you don't have magic, you forget about it. And then in Beyonders, Rachel's talking to, I think when she's talking to Maldor or something, he says that like you cannot use magic, you cannot use Edomic on Earth. And Rachel even tries.
How does Farron's hand survive?
We can talk about that later. But Rachel even tries to use Edomic and like it does not work at all. And so on this Earth, there's no magic. And we know, I feel like it is the same Earth because there's no magic. And because Farron and Drake say that they know kids from Earth as well. And so that's why I think they are from the same Earth. Like Cole and his friends are from the same Earth as Jason and Rachel. And that it's not connected to Fablehaven.
All right, I see your point, and I am swayed. I mostly agree. Right. I still think it would be so cool, though. Imagine that crossover. Okay,
but like, if
Kendra
you say,
and Seth with Cole,
as with everything nowadays, if it's a multiverse, then everything works. Like,
true.
So,
I guess it is kind of.
But like, no, 5 Kingdoms and Lyrian are definitely connected. So here's the other question: is Candy Shop War on the same Earth as Fablehaven? Because there's magic.
There's magic. But it seems to abide by different rules.
Yeah.
Like with the whole, like, if you are a wizard, is that what they call them?
I think so.
Sorcerer?
Something like that.
Nah. Well, if you're a wizard, you can live, like, almost forever.
Yeah.
But you have to, like, create, like, your own little sanctuary.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have to have your portable
and you,
lair.
like, can't leave. Yeah.
You can't leave.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, that one guy makes, like, his ice cream truck. His, like, portable lair.
One of the guys has a hat. Like the very powerful wizard, he managed to make his hat his lair so he can go wherever. Like, that's smart. But I imagine, like, that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Like, because apparently, like, if they step outside, they die. But whereas in Fablehaven, wizards are humanized dragons.
True.
And I guess you can learn magic. It's just, I think it just operates by different rules. Like, maybe
it's a different magic system for sure.
Like, I imagine in Fablehaven you could, like, use some of the theories and concepts from Candy Shop War. Like, I imagine there's a sorcerer out there making magical candy, because why wouldn't you? But I don't think they are.
Yeah, I don't think they are either. I guess the only way I could rationalize it is that the wizards or whatever in Candy Shop War have to have their, like, lairs because they're not dragons, but they still manage to become wizards. But that's a little bit of a stretch.
Magicians.
That's
what they call them.
So maybe. So, yeah.
All right, I think we have
So
time
that's
for-
how I think all of it is connected or not connected. And obviously the Torvors play a big role in that, which we can talk about in future episodes about our theories of that. Any other theories you want to touch on?
Bracken is a powerful fairy and was actually a changeling and switched at birth with a human baby.
Switched at birth?
Apparently.
That's what it says? Bracken is switched at birth even though I don't even know how unicorns are born? Like,
I don't want to think about that. Let's not think about that.
every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. Anyway, we have probably time for one more. So
Yeah. In the Beyonder series, there is a character named Galoran.
Galaran.
Don't mind Galoran. Galaran. Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys.
Sorry, I listen to the audiobooks, and so I'm very, like, fixed on, like, pronunciations of names because it just sounds better.
And I very rarely use audiobooks. I just read them, and I make the pronunciation in my head. So we've had some interesting conversations about pronunciations.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Galaran, who is a skilled warrior and a former king.
Yes.
True. Some fans have theorized that Galaran
Yeah.
is actually a member of a secret society known as the Knights of the Dawn, which plays a major role in the Fablehaven series. This theory is based on hints in the text, such as the fact that Galaran has a tattoo on his wrist that matches the symbol of the Knights of the Dawn. Do they even have a symbol?
No. I mean, a sun? I don't know.
An astrid?
I don't know.
That'd be my only
so
other thought.
This is so funny. I like how it's just trying to connect. It's trying to do, like, connecting everything together, like how we were just trying to do, but in, like, the weirdest ways
most bizarre
possible.
way.
Because it's like, oh, he has a tattoo on his wrist, and he's part of the Knights of the Dawn. And I'm like,
Does he have a tattoo on his wrist?
no, he does not.
Yeah, I remember I remember reading like the first Beyonders. Like it was like in college. You'd convinced me to read them, and I was like the first scene in the first book is Galaran getting blinded, is it not?
Actually, no, it's not when he's blinded.
Or at least
He's
when
talking.
Captured.
No, that's the third book. The first book opens up with him talking to Maldor right after he's been blinded.
Oh, right after he's been blinded.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely need to reread those. We'll work on that. I'm working on it. I got a lot of stuff to do on my plate, Megan.
Audiobooks.
It's so funny how they connect certain things. Like the funny thing is, if they like tried to connect it to Five Kingdoms, that could theoretically work. He's actually a member of the Unseen.
They're already connected, and there's Torvors.
I know, but like that it would be theoretical.
Yeah. It's just like, oh man.
I remember I'd read Five Kingdoms first, and I read Beyonder second. So when I saw Torvors, I was like, "Wait, shoot, we got another trillion in this mess. Like that's gonna be a problem."
You read them. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I read them at different order than you did. I'd read them in release order. So
yeah, I read them as they
when
came
I saw
out.
when I saw Torvor, yeah, I was expecting like phenomenal cosmic power, itty bitty living space.
That's surprising how well that translates.
It does. It works.
It does work. No, I think Torvors, and we'll have to talk. We can spend an episode like talking about Torvors in specific, but they're so interesting because of how different they are in Lyrian and in
Five Kingdoms.
Five Kingdoms. Yeah,
And
it's
you can also
very
you
interesting.
could take it into the same context that immortality versus mortality,
Oh, but they're not mortal.
but they become mortal. Ramaro gets killed. He's taken to the beyond.
Yeah, but okay, we don't have time to
I'm
get
just
talking
saying,
about this, Jessica.
We can go in deep with that if we want to in like
Okay.
the fourth and fifth books of.
I have thoughts.
I have many thoughts as
So do
well.
I. Well, this has been interesting talking
It's
about
fascinating.
the theories of Chat GPT and how off they are, and
But
how
they inspired some interesting conversations.
yeah, that first one we were like, wait, how does this
Blixes.
work? So it led
I
us
need
to other
to know this
questions.
now.
So maybe we'll talk about those at a later time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was that was fun. Let us know if you guys have any theories
Yeah, your
about
favorite
books.
theories from any of
If you have
his
any
of his
answers,
books.
you know, we'd
Yeah.
love to hear them. And if you want to hear us discuss any of them, please let us know.
Mhm.
Thanks for listening to the Knights of the Dawn podcast, everyone.
Uh-huh.
Please feel free to share this podcast with a friend or family member. We're just trying to get it out to people,
Indeed.
and we're really trying to build a community where we can talk about things like this, like where do Blixes come from and stuff like that. You know, we want to hear all you guys' thoughts.
Did Pat and Lane have a kid?
Did Pat and the That'd be so interesting.
It'd be so intriguing. Well, I mean, because they clearly have they have descendants, but is it through like patent sibling?
It could be cousin, like he could be like a great uncle, you know.
But I want to know.
Yeah, I know.
I want them
So
to
yeah,
have a
if you have
kid.
any comments, please email us at knightsofthedawnpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is where we'll be uploading these episodes. And we'll also put these episodes available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we just want to thank you guys for taking the time to listen, and let us know if you liked this episode, if you want us to do more than just talking about chapters, what you want to hear from us, you know, if you have any advice or tips or anything, discussion ideas, questions, anything, let us know. Until next time, I'm Megan.
And I'm Jessica.
See ya.
Bye.